Hello, this is just going to be a video about how to take the thirds out of your chords in a melodeon or button accordion or whatever you've got. This is a DG here, but it's the same if you've got a BC or a C sharp D or whatever. So I just recently got this box and it's got the thirds in. I prefer to have the thirds out in all my boxes, where there isn't a stop to, put them in and out as required. So I'm just going to tape them up. I'm not a professional box fettler. There are people who will do this for you if you want it done by a professional, but I think it's a fairly easy DIY job. I've been happy with the results of the quite a few boxes I've done this to. I've never had any problems. If anybody objects to any of the ways I'm doing this, if you know better, then by all means say in the comments, or please make your own better video and I'll get rid of this one. But I just thought there may as well be a video online that shows people how to do this, because I do it for my pupils as well, and Skype pupils. I've recently sort of talked someone through how to do it over Skype, and that went fine for him, but I just thought I'd leave this video here for whoever it's helpful for. So, take your box, put the bellows straps on, just to avoid dropping bits of it when you disassemble it in a moment. The things you are going to need to do this are a pair of pliers, screwdriver. What sort of screwdriver you need might depend on what's inside your box, because I'm doing this on a Hohner, but it'll be pretty applicable to anything. You'll need a pair of scissors, and most importantly of all, you need Scotch magic tape. Other brands of magic tape may be available, I don't know, but I find this very good. When I was first learning to do this procedure, I used some other types of tape that did not work so well, so I can recommend this stuff. This operation, by the way, completely reversible, the way we're going to do it. So if you do it and then decide you want your thirds back in, that'll be fine. First thing you're going to have to do is take the pins out to release your bass end. This can be terrifying if you've never disassembled your box before. I just go straight down with the pliers. These ones are quite handy because they've got the little washers on, which will avoid the pliers coming directly into contact with the box. If they don't have the little washers, as most new boxes don't, I usually just try and get the pliers around the pin without actually coming into contact with the surface of the box. It might take a few goes to get a good grip on it, and just pull it directly upwards and out, give it a little wiggle, don't need to pull too hard. And put it down somewhere where you won't lose it. They're easy to lose. You might want to also keep them laid out so you know which one came from where, so you can put them back in the same holes. I don't know if that's really important, to be honest, but I've heard it expressed by at least one person that is worth doing. So you pop out all four, 2 on the front, 2 on the back, or more possibly on your box. Okay, and then just sit the box on your lap, hand through the bass strap so you don't lose that end. And then if you take your bellows straps off, and just a hand on the bellows, pull it out, and that will just sort of pop away. So you can get rid of your treble end for now. This is what's inside your bass end. So the taller block with the big reeds on it, these are the basses, don't need to touch those. The small one with more reeds on it, this is the chords, that's what we're going to be working on. So there will be various things inside here you might need to do to release it. In fact, I'm not going to need my screwdriver because these are just little sort of bracket things that are screwed in and pressed down on the block. More often on newer boxes it'll be a little bracket that's screwed in, so you'll just loosen that screw to move the bracket and pop your block out. I'll find out whether these are loose enough to just move by hand. Yes they are, so I'll just turn that round to the left so I'm loosening it, and that will just lift out Sometimes you have to just wiggle them forwards and backwards a bit. Might be a bit stiff, but yeah, you should be able to get that out so you can put away the rest of your bass end. That's the only bit we're going to need to work on now. In fact, actually, before I put away the bass end, we're going to use this to be able to tell. So as you can see, we've got sets of 3 holes. Each of these sets of 3, the little triangle, corresponds to 1 chord button on your box. So if we press the C chord button, you'll see which set of holes opens. That's the bottom one. So that set of 3 holes there, that's the C chord. And if you're doing a Hohner, then the C chord is slightly easier to do than all the others for reasons that you'll see in a moment. C chord, you'll probably know, is same on the push and the pull. Assuming I'm talking in DG, by the way, sorry if you're playing a different box, but if you've got a chord that is the same on the push and the pull on whatever system you're playing, then that one you'll do in this way. So we just need to find which of those holes gives us an E. One bit of equipment I forgot in my initial roundup. I've got this is a guitar tuner, which I can set to work with a microphone. So it just tells me what note things are. You can use any kind of tuner, or if you've got a phone, you can download a free tuner app. If you don't have that kind of phone, just have another instrument nearby you can play a note on. Or if you've got perfect absolute pitch, then congratulations, you won't need any equipment. But either way, I'm going to make a note out of this and we've got to be able to tell what it is. I kind of already know it's likely to be this hole, the one on its own. I'm going to blow into it and find out if it gives an E. So just block off the other holes with your fingers, and then you don't need to get your mouth like right on it, but... And my tuner tells me that's an E. So that's the note we've got to take out of the equation. So back on this end of the box, that relates to this hole here. So I'm just going to stick a bit of tape over it. I might have done it on the block, except this one has the felt on the block, and obviously sticky tape on wood better than sticky tape on felt, less resulting sticky residue. So I've just torn myself off a little square. I'm going to put it over that hole, making sure not to overlap any of the other holes. Okay, so that hole is well covered when the button is pressed now. So let's see, chord, there we go. The air is now only going to be able to get through the other 2 holes, so we'll get a G and a C, but we won't get any in our chord, so that one is now thirdless. That's the C taken care of. The others are more complicated, on a Hohner at least. If you're doing this on a different box, so when I've done this on Castagnari, Bell Tuner, I think, yeah, pretty much most like, modern Italian boxes, anything like that, you might find that on all the chords, the thirds are on the same, you blow through the same hole. So meaning on one reed plate, one of them is going to have the third for the push chord, the other one's going to have the third for the pull chord. On a Hohner, it's not like that. They're distributed differently, which means the tape can't go over holes. The tape's going to have to go over the reeds, which is slightly fiddlier, but I'll show you how that's done. And the way we're going to find out again. So we move on to our next set of 3 holes. Now again, I'll just use so if I press the G chord, sorry, that was C chord again. There we go, G chord. That's the second set of holes up. So that's the G chord on the push, D chord on the pull for a DG. Again, translate as needed for your own system. So we've got 3 possibilities. Now when I blow into one of these holes, that's the note that is on the pull. And if I inhale and like draw through this, then that's going to give me the push note. So I'll look for the push first. So the chord is G. I'm looking for a B. Hopefully if you don't know what the third of what chord is, that's information you can easily find online on a basic music theory page somewhere. So we're just looking for our third, it's B. So I'm going to draw on these holes one by one. Got it straight off. So it's that one. That is my B. So I need to block off, let's see, always takes me a minute to work this out. I was drawing, which means it's the one where we can see the reed, that's the B. So the one where you can see, there's one where you see the reed, and then there's one where you see a valve. There's a reed inside here, and that valve's covering it. This one you see the reed, but the valve is on the inside. And that's the reed that we need to block off. So I'm going to take my roll of Scotch magic tape. I'm going to tear off a strip that is about as long as the block is tall, maybe a little bit longer, because I can always snip a bit off. Okay, strip of tape. Take the scissors, and I'm going to cut it exactly in half up the middle lengthways, and retain both pieces, because obviously you can use the other piece on a different reed in a moment. So one spare, this is the one we're going to use. Now I need to cover up this reed completely by sticking this tape down over the reed and touching the metal of the plate either side, but I need to not let it touch this valve next to it. So just take a bit of care when you're doing this. And in terms of where the tape goes, so you see the reed has a little pin at the end, attaching it, or a rivet, whatever you call it, attaching it to the plate. I'm going to make sure the end of the tape like butts up to that pin, but doesn't go over it, so then the tape's all lying flat, and then I'll know the whole reed is covered. I'm going to try and do this in such a way that you can watch me do it, which just makes it a little bit more awkward. Oh, and another little tip, by the way, I've cut this in half with scissors, and this one in particular, I've not done the neatest job of it, but it has got one perfectly straight edge, the edge that was the edge of the tape. That's the edge I'll leave nearest the valve, because that's easiest to line up and make sure I'm not interfering with that. Okay, so I'm going to get it nice and close to the valve, make sure the reed's completely covered, but definitely not over. I'm just going to smooth down what's overlapping next to the plate, press it down, make sure that's nice and tight, and that will be sufficient that now when air is going into, you know, those three holes, that reed isn't going to sound. I've now got this little bit left over on the top. I'm just going to snip it down so that it just comes like halfway across the block. Press that down, and there we go, one reed neatly blocked off, and I'll move on and do the others. So that's G taken care of. I'll just refer back to my bass end. I will play my E minor B button, top and side button, and that is that one. So I know on this one I'm looking for, let's see if I'm still just doing the pushes, so I'm going to draw. So one of these three holes on the draw is going to be the D sharp of my B major chord. So I've got my tuner at the ready. Sorry, that was a blow, not a draw. Right, that's B, so that's not the one. We still want the B in our chord. That's F sharp, so this last one should be the D sharp. There it is. So that's that reed there. We're on the other side of the block, second from the top, and already got my spare piece of tape ready. There we go, covered up. Sorry if you didn't see that one as well, but if you saw the first time, snip that off. Okay. Okay, so we'll do the last of the push ones. So we've got a D chord up here. One of these will give us an F sharp. So let's find our F sharp. There it is. It's this hole here. So it's on this side of the block, second one from the top. And that will be the last one where I'm looking at the reed that I need to cover up. So more tape. Okay. So again, up to that pin as far as it can go, not over the valve, but completely over the reed. There we go. And to test these as you're going as well. So before I was only leaving one hole exposed and drawing through that. If I now leave all three exposed and draw through all of them, that's a chord with no third. I can hear, if I blow, you'll hear the A major with its third in. There you go. But on the draw, open fifth. So that's what we're going for. So you can test out that you've got the right ones by doing that. Okay, so now that's taken care of all the ones where the reed is exposed. On all the others, we're looking at the valve. And the way we're going to do these is by, because again, when I was first learning how to do this, I just stuck a big bit of tape right over the valve, and that took care of it absolutely fine. But that meant it was kind of not reversible then, because in pulling off the tape, you're likely to damage or pull off the valve. Whereas the way I do it now, I've had them on and off a couple of times on some boxes and found that it's fine. So we're going to find out which one we're going to do first, and I'll show you how to take care of it. So our second chord up, this was the G and D chord, so we're looking for D, and we're blowing now to find F sharp. That's A. There we go, that one's F sharp. So this third valve along here is the one where we need to get a bit of tape under there to block off the reed that's underneath it. So just let me cut myself another piece of, in fact, there we go, I've got that piece of tape. Okay, so I'm going to need to gently lift up this valve with a fingertip. Just get a finger under there. Careful not to pull it off, because you can. And then I'm going to slide this piece of tape underneath, getting it as close to the bottom of that valve as it will go. Just about to the point where the valve won't lift up anymore. And then lay it flat, making sure that it's not overlapping at all with the reed next to it. Okay, so the hole underneath that valve is now covered, which means if I blow into those three holes, then that's my D without a third. Okay, so two more to do. Second one from the top. This is going to be E minor on the pull, so blow through the holes and find the G, which is the third in E minor. That's E. That's the B. And there we go, that's G. So this one between the two reeds we've done on this side. So I've still got a piece of tape over here. I'll see if I can let you see this any better this time. So just get that valve up. Trying to keep my eye on both the camera and what I'm actually doing here. So I've lifted it as far as it'll go. Work that in underneath, so it's almost all the way to the end. And I think that's just about okay. Yeah, that's okay there. Again, down over the top. Just make sure it's sitting flat. Okay. Blow through those three. Open fifth. And the last one, so this is going to be the A chord on the pull, so I'm looking for a C sharp. That's the A, that's the C sharp. So this last valve, same operation again. Just cut myself a new piece of tape. Check out the right one again. Yeah. I might turn around and then you might be able to see better from this side. And there we go. So that hole is covered, and there we go. That's an A5 chord. So that's everything we need to do to the block, and now we just reassemble everything. This goes back in its place. My bracket will just twist over and be tight. You'll either do that or screw back in your bracket, and then just insert that back in. Those straps on to keep things still, and the pins go back in, carefully in the right order or otherwise. So you can usually just pop them in with your finger. Sometimes they'll go in really easily, other times just handle the pliers or something and just squeeze that in. And hopefully all thirdless chords, so we can use our A as an A minor, our B as a B minor. So there you go, that's how to take the thirds out of your box. If you have any questions, problems, do let me know in the comments. If you're somebody who knows how to do this better than I do, then tell me so in the comments, or if you'd like to make your own better video, that'd be lovely. And yeah, and if you're into this kind of instrument, then please watch the other videos on my channel where I actually play it. Thanks a lot. Bye.